we're joined by head coach Mick Cronin. As always, if you have any questions for Coach, please hit the raised hand button. We'll start with Ben.
Hey, Mick.
What's up, Ben?
Hey, the Pac-12 rescheduled that Oregon game for up there in Eugene. I asked them why, and they said competitive equity in terms of home-away balance. I think it gives you both 9-9 with you're the one, and you had the one in Santa Cruz as well, neutral. How do you feel about that?
Ben, Santa Cruz was not neutral. I don't give a hell. I care less what anybody says. You were there. When the other team's playing ambient noise of their fans cheering, the game was not neutral.
Okay.
We can say whatever they want. I don't care.
Yeah, that's what they said.
It's a comedy show. I mean, if that was neutral, then okay.
But what about going up there? You guys already went up there, and then they had 2 games supposed to be at Pauley that they canceled because of their issues. So how do you feel about this situation?
I wasn't consulted, so it is what it is. Obviously, the schedule was made. I have no idea who made those decisions. Reasons don't matter to me. So, again, my thing with the Chancellor block was our players wanted to have a season. We've been able to do that. Our guys have been awesome with protocols, and our guys won't have a chance at the postseason. So that's been my focus. It's a very different year, guys. We've been through a lot with different things, and a lot of teams in our league have been through a lot. I would say that concern is that my concern is trying to help my players chase their dreams, build our program. Not that I don't want to win the conference, but like Ben, I'm not going to get caught up in saying this is fair. That's not. This year, I want to get games. You can't be a hypocrite. So it's late now. So I'm concerned with my team's health. I'm concerned with my team's mental health, and I'm concerned with our academics, because online learning is not something at other schools. It's common. It's actually 80 to 90% of what a lot of schools do with their athletes. Here, we don't even have it. Our guys, until the pandemic, our guys have never taken an online course. So academics is my concern, and our health, So as far as those games go, nobody cares what I think, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Does it change the way you have to go about the final 2 weeks, adding another game, just maybe more rest, or the way you prepare for anything?
Well, it changes the fact that we got to travel to a city, to Eugene, Oregon for a second time. And it wasn't our fault we didn't play the first time. That's all it really changes. Again, that affects academics. That affects academics. It's a distraction academically. And we're on a quarter system, and the winter quarter is a major challenge for winter sports here, particularly my guys. Always has been. Ben Howland, Steve Lavin, Steve Alford would all tell you that.
Hey, Coach, just because it hasn't been definitively said, is Jalen Hill still unavailable?
Jalen Hill is still not with us.
Okay. What do you see from MacAntion in his development? What do you think he needs to do a little bit more to get more playing time? He had a good stretch, as you said, in the second half, but what would you like to see him do to get more playing time?
Yeah, Mike, I don't think about, I think during the game, I'm trying to do whatever I think is necessary from a strategy and substitution standpoint to win a game. Right now for Mac, every day for him is so important, because he's so, he's just so far behind, but he's going to be so far ahead next year. Like today, we just practiced, and he was unbelievable today. But again, that's practice. He got better as the game went on. Minutes played are just going to make him a better player. And like all young guys, he's learned that this isn't high school. There's scouting reports and so many things from a teaching standpoint that you have to mature so quickly. I mean, literally, it's like he's standing at the bottom of a mountain, man, and the snow's just coming down on. We're teaching him so many things in a hurry so he can play major minutes. But that is what it is. That's just a situation. But it's great. It's way better than him. I wish Peyton Watson and Will McClendon could have been with us as well. It's just been a huge advantage for them. So that's really all I look at. You know, Max, I can't emphasize to you enough, guys, how awesome it is what he's doing. He had 2 offensive rebounds in the second half that if he don't have, we don't win of our last game. And both of those were done with a technique that Darren's been working with him on, a wedge technique that he had never done before. Nobody had ever taught him. And so he's picking things up really fast. It's just the problem is, man, you know, he's just getting an avalanche of information at one time. So I can't really give you one thing, Mike. You know, I think taking his time on offense, because he can really score when he takes his time. He gets a little excited because he's so young.
Go to Josh Newman.
Hey, Mick, how are you?
Hello, Josh.
Doing well. Just to follow up on something that Ben said, you know, games being removed, games being added, tweaked, you've been able to have a season. The fact that you are in a position now to get, you know, 18 or 19 of the 20 conference games in, is that a win just given what's gone on here with the pandemic and all the scheduling tweaks that you're able to get all those games in?
Oh, absolutely. You know, the kids wanted to play. So that was our first thing, you know, give these kids a chance to chase their dream, not just play the games, but, you know, practice every day, chase their dreams, trying to develop their career. So yeah, that's a huge win in and of itself. That's why I'm less concerned when people say we got to get all these games in to have an equitable Pac-12 champion. Well, no, hold on. Like that wasn't what we all said when we started. Back when we were having all these meetings, we were concerned, you know, about our guys' mental state, especially, you know, all the guys of color in our league, with whether, you know, you're dealing with the Black Lives Matter stuff, everything that went on all summer. You know, everything that went on, man, there's a lot of stuff, not just the pandemic. So like, that was all our concern. So like, I'm wondering why now are we so concerned with, we got to make games up because we got to, it shouldn't be about that. It should be about, hey man, how are the kids mentally and physically? Okay. Cause this has been a long grind for them. That's just the way I look at it, you know, and look, we could win a league. We could lose a league. We're in position. And I'd love to, trust me. I know my guys want to, but I got one eye on them as far as, you know, their mental health, because this has not been easy.
And just to follow that up, this is more of a big picture question. It's been 24 years since a team from outside the East Coast or even west of like the state of Michigan has won a national championship. Can you maybe put your finger on why it's been hard over the last quarter century for, you know, a mountain team or a West Coast team to really break through and win the whole thing?
Yeah, I would tell you, quit trying to figure it out. Because what I would tell you about the NCAA tournament, Josh, and I mean this, it is so different than any other thing in sports. Okay. You know, football, it's obvious. There's only 4 teams have a chance every year. I mean, they got to play their season, but did you guys not know who was going to be the 4 team? You know, maybe not Notre Dame, but you knew Clemson, Ohio State, and Alabama were going to be. I mean, really, you don't even need to play. So the rest, pro sports, you know, even college baseball, there's series, right, in the playoffs. Our 1-game shot tournament, anything can happen. It's very, very rare that the best team wins. You could replay the tournament and have a totally different Final Four. So yeah, I don't really know off the top of my head, you know, how many, you know, got in the last 20, you said 24 years, how many times there was a West Coast team that had the best team that then got upset. I don't really know the answer to that. So it's all cyclical, you know. There was a time when the team that won the championship was in Westwood every year. That wasn't going to last forever either, just like this wasn't going to last forever. So I just hope that UCLA is the team to break it. But anything can happen, man, in an NCAA tournament. It's very much a coin flip.
Tracy?
Hey, Mick. Getting back to Mac, specifically on defense, having a guy who's essentially a freshman, how does that impact the kind of defense you want to play? How integral is a post player's defense to everything else that you do?
Well, this day and age, Trace, there's so much pick and roll.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, teaching him where to be, how to talk, communication, footwork. He's done a good job with that. Concerned with, obviously people try to post him up deep because he's young. Veteran guys can get a leg wrap on him and bury him. So we just like, it's a daily crash course, man, for him. And look, here's what they're going to try to do to you tonight. I mean, all the way up until, you get from game day workout to pregame in the locker room to, we're all just, here's what's coming at you. Here's what's coming at you, because it's different, and if that happens in practice, it don't cost you a game. So I was just I thought his minutes down the stretch against Arizona State were so huge for us. I mean, his 2 putbacks, his free throws, but his defense, he did not give up. He was rock solid on our defense in the second half, especially down the stretch. When he does that, you can play him more. Back to Mike's question, then you can play him more, and his offense is going to start to explode.
One question about Jaime. Rather than just matchups in a specific game, how does he go from taking 1 shot to 12 between those 2 games? How does that happen?
I think it's a guy that's open, buddy. I keep trying to tell you guys that one. I'm worried about UCLA and our field goal percentage. I'm not worried about Jaime's shot total. I'm not worried about Cody's, Tigers. It's not even something that crosses my mind. I'm worried about the Bruins scoring.
Hey, Coach. So it's been about 2 months since you played Utah last time, but you won that. But that was with Chris Smith, Jalen Hill. Looking at tape, preparing for this game, what can you recreate from that game, and what are you going to have to shift now that you have a different lineup, pretty much?
Well, everybody's better at home, right? So that's just not just us, them. Everybody's better at home. So that but if you look at their stats, their home, we do all that. Their home game stats defensively is where they're exponentially better at home. So it's going to be harder for us to score. So we're going to have to execute, take care of the ball. I think we're going to have low turnovers to have a chance to win, because they're only giving up like 38% from the field in their home games, which is why they're better at home. So that's a concern, obviously, too. That they've struggled. They've played well lately. They could have easily beat Oregon the other night, but they didn't. So they're in their last 2 home games of the year, their last 2 scheduled games of the year, and you got guys like Plummer and Timmy Allen that can score, and they don't have many chances left. So you got to think, right, that they're going to really be ready to play Thursday night. So it's going to be anything but easy. But as far as stuff from the first game, long time ago, we always look at stuff I'm not going to talk about. How they played this screen, how they played the post up, things that they, what we ran, how they defended it, things like what, we're always searching, analyzing that, from a number standpoint and just from a technical standpoint. And we'll make whatever adjustments we think give us the best chance to win.
Go to Ben for our final question.
2 quick things. Following up on the wedge technique, can you explain what that is? And then also Chris Smith, watching him just at the games, he seems like such a positive presence, so happy, so encouraging to all his teammates. What's it meant to have him around and have that presence for you guys?
Well, I'll be technical for you. Wedge means when you gain rebounding position with your lower body, Then Chris Smith, as I told you guys, if you remember, Ben, when he made his decision to come back, everybody happy thinking it's, about wins. For me, Chris is just such not just me, my staff, Alex, everybody around UCLA. You can't help but love Chris Smith. He's such a good person. You guys have interviewed him for 4 years. I remember, Ben, when I got here and somebody interviewed him and he said, my first 2 years are my fault. I've underperformed. I haven't. How many kids take ownership of their failure this day and age? Or humans do? How many people do? But that's how good of a guy he is. So it's just, now that he's getting through some of his rehab, he's in the gym today on the baseline while we're practicing, because he's progressing in different areas with his rehab. He's able to be in there talking to our guys during practice. So that is beneficial. You saw during the game, he's been doing a lot of rehab during practice. So it's nice to get him back into practice because he can stand on the side and really help a guy like Mac.